Look down at your office floor today. For most facility managers, commercial carpet is a massive, quiet expense. When it gets visibly dirty, you're usually forced into one of two uncomfortable corners, either overpaying drastically for a rescue clean or grabbing the absolute cheapest quote you can find. It's a classic buyer's dilemma. You want to protect the company checkbook, so that massive premium invoice looks terrifying, but taking the bargain basement offer usually means you're walking straight into the cheap trap. The problem with the cheap trap is the immediate physical toll it takes on your floor. Cut-rate services often leave behind residue and embedded dirt, leading to rapid fiber degradation and hidden add-on costs when you inevitably have to fix their mistakes a few months later. To stop burning cash, we have to approach these surfaces with a management mindset. Commercial carpet represents a long-term financial asset that requires its own lifecycle strategy. Understanding the specific variables that dictate vendor pricing is the only reliable way to protect both the professional image of your workspace and your company's long-term operational budget. If you look at a competitive market like Sydney, pricing varies wildly from one provider to the next. That's simply because no two commercial spaces have the exact same constraints. The quotes you get are built around specific physical variables. Vendors calculate the total square meterage, the specific carpet fiber type, like natural wool or synthetic blends, and the baseline level of soiling they have to cut through. Then they factor in the logistics. How physically accessible is your building for their heavy equipment, and exactly how frequently are you scheduling the clean? Vendors take all of those variables and typically run them through one of three primary pricing models: charging per square meter, charging per room, or offering a flat rate package for the entire space. The per square meter and per room models are usually applied to smaller businesses or highly compartmentalized office layouts where the scope of work is easy to box in. On the other hand, flat rate pricing offers an inherent financial benefit for large-scale or multi-site property managers, bringing predictability to expansive, open-plan floors. If you accept a quote without making sure the vendor's pricing model matches your specific building layout, you inflate your baseline costs before a single drop of water touches the carpet. Let's attach some actual dollar figures to this process so you know exactly what to expect. Entry-level services typically start between $15 and $20 per square meter. At this budget tier, the focus is almost entirely on addressing superficial, surface-level dirt. The negative trade-off here is straightforward. Failing to extract deep, embedded grime practically guarantees rapid resoiling. You save cash today, but you actively shorten the overall lifespan of the carpet. Premium tier services range from $30 to $50 per square meter. This tier focuses mechanically on deep fiber restoration, using heavier extraction methods to pull out embedded contaminants that act like sandpaper on the fabric. Premium cleaning demands a higher immediate hit to your budget. However, because the clean is thorough, you require the service far less frequently. The specific cleaning method you choose also pulls these price levers.
Deciding between steam cleaning and dry cleaning will heavily influence which end of these tiers your final quote lands on. Paying the absolute lowest rate usually buys you a temporary cosmetic fix. Paying a premium rate buys actual asset preservation. To see why that gap in quality exists, we have to look past the final total on an invoice and examine how a cleaning company actually distributes your money. This chart shows the standard financial breakdown professional cleaners use. The labor slice makes up 40 to 50%, dictating the time technicians spend on your premises. Equipment and solutions take 20 to 30%, funding heavy machinery and chemicals. The remaining 20 to 30% covers overhead and logistics, handling transportation and insurance. Apply a simple mathematical test to this breakdown. If a quote is drastically below the market average, the vendor still has to balance this equation. They do that by either slashing labor time on site or switching to cheap, damaging chemicals. In this industry, a bottom dollar price tag serves as a mathematical predictor of inferior service. There is another highly requested variable rising in the market that actively changes this overall value calculation: the push toward eco-friendly cleaning options. Green cleaning methods skip the harsh chemicals, relying instead on safe, biodegradable solutions and advanced water-efficient techniques. For corporate facility managers, these methods directly fulfill environmental, social, and governance compliance mandates. The trade-off is that prioritizing green cleaning might limit your vendor pool to modernized, slightly more premium providers.
But in return, you actively prevent chemical damage to your carpets and drastically improve the daily office air quality. Green cleaning has transitioned from an ethical preference into a cost-effective operational strategy that protects human health and physical assets simultaneously. Ultimately, your long-term budget comes down to one choice: continuing with an ad hoc reactive cleaning schedule or shifting to a proactive maintenance contract. In the reactive scenario, you wait until there are highly visible, heavy stains and high foot traffic damage before you call a cleaner. You temporarily save cash flow by waiting, but this necessitates heavy-duty restoration work at peak market prices. It guarantees maximum long-term expenditure. The alternative is a proactive approach, implementing a consistent schedule of weekly, fortnightly, or monthly maintenance visits. A maintenance contract drastically reduces your specific per-visit cost and allows you to leverage bulk discounts, which is highly advantageous for large commercial properties. This graph charts the lifetime costs of both strategies. When you look over a 3-year period, those reactive, expensive upward spikes outpace the smooth trajectory of a flat-rate maintenance contract. The proactive approach yields the highest financial return on investment, despite the recurring commitment. When you are evaluating future quotes, base your decisions on the vendor's equipment quality, verified customer reviews, and exact service inclusions, rather than just comparing the bottom-line price. Mastering the variables of carpet cleaning costs protects your workspace, your professional image, and your company's long-term balance sheet.